Hey everybody, this is John for Pioneer Nexus MTG coming at you with another quick deck overview. This time, Neoform combo in the Pioneer format. If you like these informative deck overviews, please consider subscribing to the channel, giving us a thumbs up, leaving a constructive comment down below, and we should have the top 5 lists for March coming out in the next day or two as well. So, Neoform combo has taken a couple different forms in Pioneer. While it's not quite as all-in as the version in Modern, which was Neoform for Gristlebrand, draw a bunch of cards and win the game on turn 1 or turn 2 before it got kind of banned out of existence with Simian Spirit Guide. Although it does still exist, it's much weaker and much less consistent. This deck was instead trying to Neoform a Dredge creature, one of the Delve creatures, sorry, not Dredge creatures, Tassiger the Golden Fang or Hooting Mandrills into a powerful 7-drop. The first version of this deck that popped up was Veleomachus Lorehold. Now, one of the downsides of this is it did require specifically Neoform. You could not run Eldritch Evolution because Veleomachus had to have 6 power to be able to either cast Karn's Temporal Sundering or part the Water Veil and then take a bunch of turns and try to win the game by beating your opponent to death. In order also to enable this, you use things like Otherworldly Gaze, Taigan Scheming, and Contingency Plans to filter the top of your library until you find the cards you wanted. Obviously, this is huge card disadvantage, but if you resolve like a turn 3 Veleomachus and you manage to hit a turn spell into another turn spell, you generally win the game. So, very much an all-in combo deck. Had a little bit of disruption in the form of things like Thoughtseize and Duress. And then the sideboard, you had a bunch of different options to kind of facilitate what you were doing. You had other reanimation or other Neoform targets like Dragonlord Atraxa or Draconoth Maw of Flames, and then Sphinx of the Final Word as well. These were kind of more value-based targets than a combo, but you did find some matchups where the combo just wasn't good enough. Leyline of Sanctity helped to disrupt against your opponent's opposing Thoughtseizes and such. You also had Path of Peril and Abrupt Decay for aggressive decks, helping to slow them down. Pithing Needle for shutting down things like Karn and such, and any other probably problematic permanents you might have run into. Atarka was good against other creature-based decks. The same with Dracusoth Maw of Flames. Whenever it attacks, you deal 4 damage to one target, 3 damage to other targets. Very good against other creature-based decks. And then Sphinx of the Final Word, this was kind of the be-all, end-all against something like Blue-White Control or Spirits. But that was the past. What does the deck look like now? So the deck has taken a couple forms now. This list is off of Bryant Cook's video from shortly after the deck was introduced, or with the huge changes of Phyrexia All Will Be One, Atraxa Grand Unifier, and Tyrannix Rex are the new threats. This has 2 positive impacts. Number 1, it gives you a card advantage threat and a get the game over threat without having to play all of the time walk spells the Veleomachus required. Allows you to play 4 threats instead of 2, so you're less likely to have to bury all of your threats with your Taigan Scheming, Otherworldly Gaze, etc., or draw them. And this allows you to double up on your Neoforms with some copies of Eldritch Evolution, giving you now 7 or 8 pieces of each combo piece, making it a lot easier to combo and find your key spell. Rest of the deck hasn't changed much. Thoughtseize to disrupt your opponent, Otherworldly Gaze, Contingency Plan, and Taigan Scheming as ways to dig for your missing combo piece, and then Neoform and Eldritch Evolution to sacrifice away your various Delve creatures, and then get either Tyrannix Rex, which this spell can't be countered, Trample, Ward 4, which means it's going to take forever your opponent to deal with it, and then Haste for an 8/8. But the big thing with this is Toxic 4. So Toxic 4 means for each time it deals combat damage to a player, they take 4 poison counters. So unless they absorb all 8 damage each time it attacks, they die in 3 attack steps. Very good way to get the game over very quickly. Atraxa, now this is more of the kind of slower, grindier plan. Whenever it enters the battlefield, reveal the top 10 cards of your library. For each card type, you may put a card from among them into your hand. This enables you not only to potentially reload on the combo and go get a Tyrannix Rex and get 2 beefy boys and play at the same time. It can also kind of stabilize the board, especially if you get it down on turn 3. It's Flying, Vigilance, Death Touch, and Lifelink. So your opponent's going to struggle to put enough things in front of it to kill it to begin with, and then also gains you some life both attacking and blocking, potentially making aggressive decks look rather embarrassing. The sideboard, a lot of the same key pieces that you saw in the previous versions. You're still seeing Leyline of Sanctity Protector combo from Disruption like Thoughtseize or Go Blank. Mystical Dispute to protect against the combo against any type of blue-white control or spirits lists. Fatal Push and Abrupt Decay good against various either aggressive decks in the case of Fatal Push, or Abrupt Decay can help against either hate pieces, things like Thalia that might slow you down, or just blowing up random things like Grafdigger's Cage. And then Pithing Needle, shutting down things like Karn is always a key thing in certain matchups like Mono Green. As far as how powerful this list is, we'll have to try it in some games and see, but this is mainly just a deck overview, and obviously this is a deck that is capable of putting a very big fatty boom boom in play on turn 3 and hoping to win the game over the next couple of turns. It's not a guaranteed or close to a combo guaranteed kill like Veleomachus was, however, a little bit more consistent in terms of executing what it's doing, and it's still putting a very powerful 7-drop creature into play on turn 3 or 4, and that often is enough to win the game in a format like Pioneer. So, if you like these deck overviews, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and tune in this week both for our top 5 list for March 2023, as well as a little bit of gameplay with this Neoform list later in the week, possibly Thursday or Friday.